Seating back in your chair, just a quick caveat for those of you that have a moving chair, make sure it's up against something that's not moving so that you have a stable surface. And I'm going to join you in my chair here as well. All right. So once you find a comfortable seated position on your chair, make sure that your feet are firmly planted on the floor. So if you're on the shorter side like me, you may need to scoot forward into your chair so that you can plant your feet firmly on the floor. And feel that your feet are parallel to one another and deeply grounded. What that means is that you can feel your big toe, your pinky toe, and your heel down into the floor beneath you. From there, start to think of lifting and lengthening your spine tall up to the top of the ceiling. Keeping the length in your spine, I want you to gently close your eyes and take this moment to just scan your body. Let go of the happenings of your day and take a moment to get connected to how your body feels in this moment. Scanning from the very tippity top of your head down to your toes, just noticing any differences you feel from side to side, any spots of tension, knowing that in this moment, there is no right or wrong way for your body to feel. You're just here to notice it. And as you notice how your body feels in this moment, I want you to imagine your breath. Your breath is the most simple thing that you can change and that you can use as a way to relax your body, even just sitting in your office chair. So as you sit here with your eyes closed, take your inhale breath in, and I want you to imagine your breath going into the lowest part of your lungs first. And then take your exhale breath out, blowing out as though you're blowing out through a straw or birthday candle. And almost imagine that air in the bottom of your lungs as being the first air to leave. Take another deep inhale breath in through the nose. Maybe you can fill up your lungs a little bit deeper this time. And when you exhale, get rid of some of the stale air that hangs around the bottom of your lungs. Try that again. Another inhale. As you inhale, can you lift your spine and get taller? As you exhale, can you feel the equal weight of both of your hips down into the seat beneath you? 2 more times. Take an inhale breath in through the nose. As you exhale, feel your shoulders release down away from your ears. Try one more time here. Another filling inhale breath. Lengthen the back of your neck. And exhale, gently blink your eyes open, and we'll start to take a little bit of movement here. We're going to take alternating shoulder rolls here. So allow your arms to rest down by your side. If for any reason that feels uncomfortable, you can rest your hands on your thighs. You're going to start to roll your right shoulder and then your left shoulder back one at a time, just noticing the difference in movement from side to side. But as you roll your shoulders in this opposite direction, can you keep your hips grounded underneath you? And that's actually a little bit trickier than it might seem. Your body is going to want to move side to side. Feel the grounding of your feet in the floor beneath you. We'll do 2 more just like this. And then last time, we're going to reverse those circles. Same thing, continue to alternate from side to side, rolling the arms up and around. Keep lengthening and lifting through the top of your head, dropping your shoulders down away from your ears, and breathing in that comfortable breath pattern in through your nose and out through your mouth. From here, we'll gently release and let the arms relax, arms down by your side. We're going to start to take this into a small range of motion, single arm movement. So I want you to lift your right arm out to the side with your fingertips pointing forward. This may be a little uncomfortable to begin, but we're going to take it into some movement. Keeping your elbow bent, try tapping your right fingertips towards your left shoulder and then pulling your elbow back behind you. So it's almost like there's a table next to you and in front of you that you're just gliding your arm along. Now, if the range of motion feels uncomfortable, back off right before that point. Make it a little bit smaller. And I think as you move here, you may actually start to feel that you can go a little bit bigger with less discomfort. If you need to drop your arm down a little bit lower, you can do that here as well as a modification. We do twice more. And last time here, go ahead and drop your right arm down. We'll lift and open the left arm next. So think your left fingertips, you're keeping your elbow bent this whole time. Tap to the right shoulder and open. And you may not even be able to tap the shoulder. That's totally fine here. You may also have a big difference from side to side, and that is normal. You're just opening and closing the arm out to the side. You can imagine poking someone with your elbow back behind you so that you feel like you're actually opening and stretching the front of your chest. 3 more. Last 2. Last time, and drop the arm down like a chicken wing. Now from here, we're going to keep the elbows bent, that same thing, and we're going to move the arm upward. So with your elbow bent, think of reaching up and down. So notice that I'm not actually straightening my elbow at the top. I'm keeping it totally bent, just lifting the arm up and down. This isn't a big movement here, and it should be within your body's pain-free range of motion. Our shoulder is a ball and socket joint, so it can move in all different directions. So we're trying to explore those directions here with just a little bit of warm-up motion. Last time on the right side, drop it back down. We're going to keep the left elbow bent, and same thing, reaching up and down. The elbow stays bent the whole time. So you can imagine that movement comes from your upper arm bone, the humerus. So your humerus lifts up and your humerus drops down. Everything else is just along for the ride here. Good. 4 more. And 3. That's it here, guys. Last 2. Last time, drop the arm down, shake it out. Now we're going to take that into a bigger movement with both arms together. So reach your right arm straight down by your side with your fingertips out, and your left arm in the opposite direction, like you're drawing a diagonal. Stretch and reach through your fingertips. Now, without moving your right hand, turn as though you're going to give yourself a high five with your left and open up to the ceiling. Exhale as you turn, rotate, reach. Inhale to open on up. So gently turning to rotate and opening to stretch. Good. Shoulders down away from the ears and lift. Turning down to gaze towards your right fingertips and opening the chest. 2 more. That's it here, guys. Once more. Open up and drop the arms down. We'll try the same thing, but opposite to the left side. So your left palm faces forward. Your right arm opens out to the side. Stretch your fingertips in opposite directions. Sit tall and start to rotate right hand towards left and open out to the side. You can always modify your range of motion to make this smaller if needed. You can also keep a soft bend in your elbow if that is more comfortable for your shoulders. 4 more on this side. Make sure you're breathing. There's not a right or wrong way to breathe here. Just make sure you are not holding your breath. Last 2, we gently rotate, come back through the center. 1 more time here. Come back through the center, drop your arms down by your side. Excellent. Now we're going to take that into a deeper spine twist with a little arm stretch as well. So we'll take our right leg, crossing it over our left. Make sure when you cross your legs that both hips are still down on the ground. So you're not all the way tipped over to your left side. You're trying to sink that right hip down. Take the outside of your left hand to the outside of your right thigh. Reach and open, gently twisting to the right, stretching your right fingertips to the back of your chair. Use the push of your wrist, of your left wrist, into your thighs to help twist your body a little bit deeper. Now, when we twist, it's very tempting to start to collapse and crunch the spine. I want you to imagine your spine getting pulled from the very top of your head up as tall as it's ever been. We actually get our deepest rotation range of motion when our spine is lengthened and long. Try holding at your deepest point of stretch, taking a big filling inhale, breath here, and then exhale, breath release out through the nose and the mouth. Try once more here, a big inhale, filling, breath in, and an exhale, breath out. Good. We're going to come back through the center, but now take the right ankle just on top of the left thigh. We'll use this as an opportunity to stretch on the outside of your right hip. So lift and lengthen through the top of your head. Feel your right hip pushing down into the chair beneath you. This might already feel like a stretch for you, and if it does, just stay here. If this is too intense, you're going to walk your left foot away from your body to make that slightly less intense. If it's not enough of a stretch, slowly, gently hinge your chest forward. Notice I didn't say round the chest forward or collapse. We're still keeping the length of the spine that we've been working on, just gently tipping the chest forward. Keep allowing the head to stay long and your gaze just to the floor in front of you. This one can feel especially intense, and these tend to be muscles that are very tight if you have lower back pain. We'll take this at our slow, comfortable pace. Imagine sending your breath down again, low into the belly, into the sides of your rib cage as you sit and find this stretch. We'll try one more big breath in here. And then a breath out, release. Go ahead and take that right leg off. We'll take this into the opposite stretch. So you can cross your left thigh on top of the right. Once you have crossed your legs, try and sink your left hip back down onto the mat so that you can sit up nice and tall and centered. The outside of your right arm comes to the outside of your left thigh and gently turn to twist looking over your left shoulder. Notice how your spine wants to slump here. See if you can sit taller and use the leverage and push of your right hand into your thighs to allow yourself to twist a bit deeper. You have the option to bend either of your elbows if you need to modify this posture here. We'll try another big deep breath in. Imagine pressing your hips forward, but turning your shoulders to face off to the left. On our last breath here. Good. And then gently come back through the center. We're now going to reset and place the left ankle on top of the right thigh. Just like the other side, if it's too intense here, you can walk your right foot away from your body to diminish that stretch, or walk the right foot where it was, pick the chest up tall, and gently tip and hinge the chest forward to add a deeper stretch to the outside of your left hip. Your stretch here, it should be a good stretch, but it should still be gentle. If this stretch is too intense or too much for our body, it starts to recognize it as uncomfortable, and our body will actually tighten up our muscles in response to that. That's our protective mechanism. But by doing so, we don't get as much of a stretch. It's not as effective. So it's okay for this to feel gentle. Our body will actually get a good benefit out of that more gentle stretch feeling. Try taking another big deep breath in here. And then a deep breath, releasing out. Go ahead and take the left foot down. You're going to separate your feet wider than hip distance. Reach your fingertips up to the ceiling. Imagine like there's a fence in front of you. You're going to dive your body up and over that fence, maybe reaching your fingertips to the floor. If that's too much for your body, you can always rest your elbows down on your knees and just take this gentle forward stretch. If you're more flexible in this position and you'd like to walk your fingertips forward, you can do so here. If you feel pinching in the front of your hips, try gently pressing down into your feet into the floor. We'll try one more breath here, and then walk the hands back, curl the spine up, reach the fingertips tall. We'll do that twice more. Lengthen and lift. Imagine diving up and over like there's an imaginary fence. Feel the heaviness of your head hanging as you walk your fingertips forward, or perhaps just rest, allowing your chest to drop forward. Hands are resting, or elbows are resting on your knees. Good. We'll walk back, curling, lifting the fingertips up tall. This is our final time in this gentle seated forward fold, allowing ourselves to drop forward, maybe feeling the heaviness of the hands onto the floor while walking the hands out in front of us, sinking our hips backwards and pressing lightly into our feet. We'll try once more here with a breath in. As you exhale, curl and lift the spine tall. Drop the arms down by the side and gather your feet back in the parallel position. Now we're going to work into a little bit of ankle mobility. So when we sit all day, our ankles get stiff in this one position, just kind of resting down on the floor. We want our ankles to be able to move in a couple different directions here. So what we're going to start with is a gentle ankle circle. Now I say gentle because a lot of us have had a history of some kind of ankle roll or ankle sprain in the past. We want to be gentle with our range of motion. Think like if you could stretch all the way to the ends of your ligaments, we're going to try and stretch only 50% of that range. So with your feet parallel, start to draw circles with your heels. Your knees are going to move a little bit too. Your feet are, or rather your toes are staying down on the mat, but you're drawing circles with your heels up and around. Not in the biggest range of motion you've ever done, but somewhere right into the middle. And you'll feel maybe that one side is a little bit tighter or stiffer than the other. You might even get some cracking, clicking, or popping in your ankle, and that's not a bad thing. Our feet are made up of tons of tiny little joints, and so that may just be telling you that you're getting some movement in those little joints. We're going to reverse those circles. These ones always feel funny. We always pick the path of least resistance first. Now, as we do those opposite circles, moving slowly, keeping all 5 toes down onto the mat, drawing and reaching the circles of the ankles out, up, and around. Good. 3 more times like that. Last 2. Last time here. Good. Now settling in that parallel alignment, all 5 toes, you can think of them like a fan pressing down into the mat. Start to lift and lower your heels. So this is just that front to back direction. You can imagine this is like a calf raise. This is a really nice exercise that you can do even while you're working. So while you're sitting at your desk, especially if you're someone who tends to get really cold feet, you have poor circulation, or perhaps you tend to get a little bit of swelling in your feet and ankles. This is a good way to get the blood flowing and circulating through your feet and your toes again. Our calf muscle actually works like a pump to send some of that fluid back up to our heart. So nice and gentle here. This exercise is the most effective if you're really soft and gentle when you land your heels down. So think of the work on the way down just as much as the work on the way up. Really nice and easy as you lift and lower. I sometimes imagine like I'm lowering my heels onto a sheet of glass, and I don't want to break that glass. Just nice and easy. Good. We have 4 more. 3. Stop it here, guys. 2. 1 more time and drop the heels down. Okay. Now we're going to take this into a standing posture next. So make sure that you are scooted right up to the edge of your chair. Your feet are still firmly planted down to the floor beneath you. We're going to use our body mechanics to make this as easy as possible. So imagine your nose going up and over your toes, reaching your fingertips in front of you and standing tall. I'm going to make a quick camera adjustment so you guys have a better view here as we work through this next standing set. So once you're in your standing posture, we're going to gently sit back down by reaching your nose over your toes, fingertips in front of you, and sit down. We try again, push into the feet, stand up tall. Let the nose tip forward over the toes, hips sit back, and gently sit in your chair. If this is too much, maybe your chair is too low, you can practice just sitting back and standing up tall, sitting back and standing up tall. So it doesn't have to be the full range of motion. You could imagine you're sitting maybe on a bar stool back behind you, something that's a little bit higher. These sitting to standing exercises are a great way to get your heart rate up a little bit. For those of you who'd like to add on a little bit more, reach forward and up to the ceiling, and then lower the arms down as you sit. As we reach our arms overhead, that helps us to get our heart rate up even a little bit more. We're going to add in some optional twisting motions in just a moment as we reach forward, lift up, arms drop down, and sit back. Arms reach forward, lift and lengthen, arms reach forward and sit down. Good. Twice more, just like this. And sit back down. Good. Last time we come up and we stay up on this one. This time with your feet firmly planted underneath you, you're going to reach your arms up to the ceiling as high as you feel comfortable and gently reach your right arm forward, left arm back, gaze over to the left. We sweep our arms back up to the ceiling, reach our left arm forward, right arm back, sweep the arms up to the ceiling, come back through the center. So gentle spine twist. If this is too much for your shoulders, you can work in a bent shoulder posture, more like a goalpost. So bending your arms out to the side, reach to the ceiling, and bending and dropping your elbows down. Keep your feet grounded to the floor beneath you, pushing down like a nice stable base of support as you alternate and twist. Gently turning, pressing on up. Good. We have 3 more. Lift up tall through the fingertips, last 2. We lift up tall, good. Last time here, we lift up tall and drop the arms down and shake it out. Good. Okay. So we're going to take this now. We did a little bit of that calf work before for mobility. We're going to take this into a nice stretch for our calf muscles and our hip flexors, which tend to get really tight when we sit. If you know your balance is not good, I want you to stand near a wall or have your chair handy to hold on to. From the side, we're going to step our right foot forward and our left foot backwards into a wide stance, so wider than you would naturally fall here. Look down at your feet and make sure that both toes are pointing forward, so they're parallel. We often end up turning our toes out to the side in this position, so point both toes forward. Now actively press your left heel down into the floor, and your left leg should be straight. That might already feel like a stretch for the back of your left knee. If it doesn't, go ahead and bend your right leg until it does. And that should also help you to feel a gentle stretch across the front of your left hip. If you're not feeling that stretch in the front of your left hip, pick your chest up a little bit taller and press forward into that bent right knee. Your left leg stays straight the whole time. As always, hold on to something. I want you to be able to relax into this stretch. So if it feels really wobbly and unbalanced, hold on to something. Your body will be able to better find the stretch when it feels a little bit more stable. We'll try another big deep breath in here. And a deep breath out. We can step back through the center, shake it out, and we'll switch to the opposite side. So walk your left foot forward and then your right foot back. Look down at your toes. They should both point forward. Drop your right heel all the way down to the floor. So stand up nice and tall so you can press the right heel to the floor. From here, you might already feel that stretch, and that's fabulous. You can stay in this position. If you want to deepen the stretch, start to bend your left forward front knee. Square off your hip, so rotate your right hip forward. Pick your chest up tall, and you may feel a gentle stretch across the front of your right hip here as well. Lift tall through the top of your head and let that breath be comfortable down into your ribs and your belly. Letting gravity do the work as you press your heel down to the floor, holding on to something if you feel like you need that here for balance. Good. We'll add in just one more big deep breath here. And then a deep breath out, and we'll come right back through the center. Good. For our last standing movement, we're going to do some sideways movement. We've done some twisting, some forward and backward stuff, but we haven't done a lot sideways yet. So what we're going to start with is a gentle weight shift. So I want you to widen your stance, wider than hip distance, and just start to lift one leg and then the other. Okay, maybe this is comfortable for you. You stay here. If not, I want you to start to add an actual kick and lift of your outside leg. So you'll feel the outside muscles of your hips starting to work to add that little lift in. If that is also comfortable, you can add a reach of the opposite arm overhead, or the same arm to the opposite side. So as you kick your right leg, you're reaching your right arm, and vice versa. Notice if you're starting to lean forward. That's very common here. See if you can stay tall. Imagine like you are moving in the panes of a toaster oven. You want to move just sideways without sinking your spine forward or backwards. Good. You can always come back to that more modified version if you feel like you need that for any reason. You guys have got this. We go for 4 more. And 3, keep breathing here. Can you make that kick a little bit bigger for 2? And 1 more time here. We'll settle into the middle. Feel the feet grounded to the floor beneath you. We'll take a full forward fold here, reaching the arms up tall overhead. That imaginary fence is back. We're going to dive up and over the fence once again, adding a soft bend to our knees and allowing the head to hang heavy in front of us. From here, we take a big, deep, filling inhale, breath in. Ground your feet into the floor as you exhale, push, curl, and stand all the way up tall. We're going to take this back down into the seated position to finish our movement program. So stand in front of your chair. You can check and make sure it's behind you. Reach your fingertips forward, tip your nose forward over your toes, and come to a gentle seat. Awesome. So we've done work for all of our legs. We've got a lot of shoulder movement. We have not done anything for our hands, and they do a lot of work with typing and mousing throughout the day. So we'll give them a little bit of attention here. We're going to start by taking the hands up overhead, palms facing one another. I'd like you to try and keep your palms pressing together as long as you can as you lower your arms down, and you'll start to feel a stretch through the bottom part of your forearms. When you can't go any farther, you lift up, inhale. Exhale, press the hands together and pull them down as low as you can. You can modify your range of motion starting just at the height of your forehead and then working to press down. Reaching up with an inhale, press the hands together and lower down. Just 2 more times like this. We lift up, press your hands actively like you're making a handprint on the opposite hand. And 1 more time here, press. And then gently shake it out. Interlace your hands with one another. Start to draw a figure 8 with your wrists. With this one, you may hear some clicking, cracking, popping. That is totally normal. Just like the foot, the hand is made up of a bunch of teeny tiny bones and joints all connecting to one another. So you may hear that here. Now we're going to change the interlace of your hands to the opposite and draw the opposite direction, range of motion, figure 8. This one always feels super awkward and uncomfortable, but this is just because your non-dominant hand is leading the movement now. So just notice it, and you may hear cracks and pops in different places with this one, and that's okay. Let this be free, let this be comfortable, maybe make that figure 8 a little bit bigger. We'll try 2. And once more there, and then let the arms sink down. We're going to finish with some community breaths here together. So I want you to scoot to the front edge of your chair once again. Look down at your feet, feel them parallel, press down into the floor, lifting and lengthening your spine up tall. We take an inhale, sweeping, lengthening breath up tall, and an exhale, breath out, keep the height of your spine. Again, another inhale, lift, grow tall and lengthen. Exhale, release and let it go. Try one more time. Inhale, grow tall, tall and taller. Exhale, release out. Let it go. Allow your shoulders to drop away from the ears and give yourself a little pat on the